It's official. It's a Danwich live here on the Young Man Squad Fantasy Basketball Podcast, part of the Old Man Squad Sports Network. I am here with Thunder Dan and Dan Besbris.
Yeah, not
gentlemen. Thunder and Lightning Dan. Do you want to be Lightning Dan now?
Oh no! Have you seen my speed? It is not.
I have a question. Are we allowed to be on the Young Man Sports Network? I don't.
I know this is like.
There's a lot of grays coming into my beard here.
I feel like Thunder Dan and I like opened the wrong door in the office, and Noah was like, "I'm on air, guys. Get out of here." No, we just stayed because we're old and we needed He had a bowl of Werther's Originals on his desk, and now he can't get rid of us.
You guys are still just trying to figure out how to get out of here. That's what you're gonna spend the next hour doing.
Your show.
Might as well
Back in my day, Sean Marion was the best player.
That's a good name there, Thunder Dan.
All righty. We will probably the last Sean Marion reference, though I'm happy to talk about Sean Marion more. That could be a lot of fun. But that is the first Sean Marion reference on any podcast I've ever done. So that was really cool.
Nicely done, Thunder Dan.
Doing that.
I mean, he was the man, dude. That was first round pick time in the early 2000s.
The Matrix, man. No one was doing that. Now everybody does all of it. You know, we'd have a whole league full of Sean Marions out there now.
He was a hipster 9-cat guy. Before it was cool.
OG.
All right. Questions are still coming in, but we've got a few here that we'll go ahead and get started with. Guys, here is the first one. This is one we talked about during yesterday's live Q&A. But I think that we will talk about it again today because I think it is an important discussion to have, and it's fun to get different perspectives. Top four, I'm assuming, being Jokic, Wemby, SGA, Luka. They're gone. Pick 5. Thunder Dan, we will start with you. Who are you taking? I believe this when we talked about this question yesterday, Anthony Edwards was also tossed into this mix. But who are you taking at pick 5?
Good question. It's not Giannis if it's head-to-head. I keep telling people that. I don't want to get forced into a punt free throw build of my first round pick. I don't care how many points, rebounds, and whatever else he has this year, blocks and assists. I've been kind of messing with Anthony Davis just because I like to get risky, but I don't think you can go wrong with Anthony Edwards or Cade, really. And I want to be real crazy here, and I will throw that Tyrese Maxey should be in the mix somewhere in that middle of the first round too. I love Maxey this year. I think the chances of Embiid or Paul George staying healthy are low, and that he could be, a first-round value. Just maybe not at 5. I've been taking around 7 or 8 quite a bit, but any of those guys, I think I would take over Giannis.
Roto, I am probably going Anthony Edwards actually here. I don't mind the sort of well-rounded start. I know I'm going to end up taking well-rounded guys the rest of the draft, so I might as well just kind of kick it off that way. Head-to-head, I probably am going Giannis. Once you get out of that top 5 or top 4, rather, if you're going to compete with those teams, you probably have to plan on being bad at something, and there's a weird comfort in knowing the thing you're going to be bad at right out of the gate. So you just flip the board at that point. And I've railed about this on my show a lot. Old man yelling at cloud style. I really don't like the guard builds this year. I really don't like them because the Wemby team is going to do a guard build. And so now you got Trey or Cade or Harden. I actually like Harden a lot. I think he's better than the other ones in straight 9-cat as well. But you have 4 at least teams all trying for the same, like, one guy that's perfect, the perfect fit guy in each round. And odds are you're just not going to get them in each round. So flip the board. Go Giannis at 5 if you want to build a punt team for head-to-head. And it just opens up the weirdos that you can take the next few rounds. You can go early on Şengün. You can go early on the Thompsons. You can go early on, if you trust Luka, I don't, but like Walker Kessler. And it just, to me, I think it just flipping the board is my move once I get outside the top 4 guys in head-to-head. But also, I'm here to tell everyone you should try Roto. It's super fun. You just get to be you have to try to be good at all 9 categories, and I think that's entertaining.
Definitely takes more skill to be good at Roto, and that's why I don't do it. It takes too much skill. Like the randomness. Maybe I get a little lucky here and there. I in the FBI World Cup, I mentioned this yesterday during the show, but I took Giannis at 5. Like that's what I've started to build around, and it's worked out pretty well with the first couple rounds. Well, I mean, we're a good bit into it now. With the first couple rounds, I was able to pair him with Sabonis and Chet, which I was pretty happy with. But it does limit who you're able to start with, and if the board doesn't fall your way, then things can get kind of messy pretty quickly. Because I was hoping to get a guy like Amen Thompson or Jalen Johnson coming back around to me, and that didn't happen. But Sabonis worked out pretty well. I think he fits in okay with Giannis. For a Luka build,
Peanut McFingers.
Peanut McFingers asking this question. For a Luka build, are we looking more towards punting field goals and free throws? Punting field goals seems easier to rack up assists and some late round centers, and that is punting field goals or free throw percentages. Just to clarify, Thunder Dan, how are you building around Luka Doncic?
Oh, that's a great question for him. You had Luka in my mock.
Yeah. I don't think you have to really Dan and I talked about the idea of like a hard punt versus soft punt. And I don't think you have to hard punt either of those things because Luka is not Trae Young in terms of field goal percentage, right? He's 45, 46%. So below average, but not like, killer. And at the same time, free throw percentage, he's not like, like Shaq or I don't know, pick out some kind of terrible free throw shooter
Giannis.
at a high volume. Giannis, right. So I don't think you have to hard punt either one of those guys. And I love Luka builds because, and I'm actually putting out an article on this later this week, but you can now avoid, Luka's like your point guard, right? He's your high assist guy. You don't have to worry about drafting another big assist guy. You can kind of stack 5 and 6 assist guys around him and compete in assists without having to totally punt turnovers and field goal percentage like a lot of guard teams do. So, yeah, I think Luka gives you a lot of paths to winning.
Totally agree. I don't have anything to add to it. I don't think you have to choose a punt from Luka. I think you can choose your punt 2 to 3 rounds later when you see who you get in the second, third, fourth round and how that team build starts to sort of build out around him. Because, again, I've already said I hate the guard build, so I don't want to go punt field goal there, and you don't have to. Punt free throw is probably the one that makes a little more sense with Luka, but how are you going to compete with the punt free throw Giannis team? So just take somebody you like in the second round, see how it fits, then figure out what you're bad at. If you go like Amen Thompson in the second round, sure, you can punt free throw after that. If you go, I don't know who's there towards the end of the second round these days. It's getting weird lately at the end of the second round. Maybe you end up with like a Josh Giddey and you're just a hyper well-rounded point guards that rebound team to start. I just think there's so many pathways you can take with Luka. Why wipe out one of them before you know what else you're going to have?
Yeah, and I think one more factor to throw in there is he shot 45% from the floor last season. That isn't a good field goal percentage, but if we look at what actually happened last season, he was hurt for most of it and then playing on a brand new team and trying to make things work. And the 2 years before that, 48.7 and 49.6. I think he'll be back up towards that. Obviously, we don't know for sure, but I assume that it'll be a little better than it was last year. And yeah, the free throws aren't as bad as they used to be. Still weird how good he is at contested step back threes and random trick shots, and then just very, very average at free throws. But that's just kind of what we deal with Luka Doncic. Next question here, 9-cat keeper league, where SGA is the first keeper, and you have to decide between Evan Mobley and Amen Thompson as your second. Which way would y'all go? First of all, just you're in a good spot if you're choosing between SGA and then one of those two guys. But how are we feeling about where should we go with this?
Man,
go Besbris first. You go, Dan.
I literally just recorded a show where I was like, my favorite 2 picks in the middle of the second round are Amen Thompson and Evan Mobley. I don't think you can go wrong either way, especially with Shea, who's so good at so many things. Neither one of them is bad enough at foul shooting to ruin your advantage there with Shea. You're still out in front. Both guys put you in a great position in field goal percent, and neither guy is going to be super high turnover, which also Shea is not. You go Amen Thompson, and that works right into a punt threes build for Shea. That's a pretty sweet start to your team. Grab a Butler or a DeRozan at some point in the middle rounds, and you're really cooking with gas. You're not outstanding in assists, probably want to shore that up at some point afterwards, but you can go either way here. And I know that's a total cop out of an answer. If I'm in a Roto league, I'm probably going Mobley for whatever that's worth. Not as much of the like really good at things, really bad at other things type of stuff that you're going to get out of Thompson. But I mean, Amen Thompson, if you can keep him after this year, maybe that's the answer to your question. They're both awesome. Roto, Mobley, head-to-head, Thompson. There, I picked one for each.
Here's my take on it. I think the number of outcomes for Amen Thompson is much greater than Evan Mobley. Like you take Evan Mobley, and you're 90% sure about what you're going to get from him based on what he's done the last couple seasons. There's Ben Thompson's still a wild card with what's going on with no Fred VanVleet, how things going to shake out with KD this year, like how Houston's going to play out. We know, he's a rising star and he's going to stack up stats, but we don't know if he's going to see a bump in assists, if he's going to see an increase in turnovers because of more ball handling. Evan Mobley is just such an awesome 9-cat player. Like he's just, again, that's why he's better for Roto. Like he's safer. He's going to give you fewer turnovers, right? More blocks. I would go Mobley. Maybe I'm a Cavs homer too, and I just love Evan Mobley, but he's such a nice fit there. And then plus now you have a guard and a big man, and with the third pick, you don't feel like if you go Thompson, you're going to feel like, all right, I need a big man soon. I'm going to maybe press and try to pick a big man. And now your third pick, you can go either way. Who are best available?
Yeah, maybe it just kind of depends on how you want to build out the rest of your team, because like both of those guys are incredibly talented and are going to have really good seasons. And what categories do you want to be stronger in, or what categories do you think you can make up later? That's probably what's going to come down to. I think maybe the unknown about Amen Thompson is the fun aspect that makes you say, hey, I'll just kind of take a chance here and I'll take Amen Thompson. And if you don't feel like taking a risk, Mobley's a nice consolation there. There's nothing wrong with taking Evan Mobley there. 10th pick in his league, and I'm really confused about who to draft. Can you rank these players from best to worst? This is 5 players here. Devin Booker, Karl Anthony Towns, Trae Young, James Harden, and Steph Curry. Does anyone feel really passionate about this either way to where they want to take the first crack at this?
I'll yell about it. I'm always willing to yell about stuff. That's my jam. Oh, it looks like he added Sabonis in his next post also.
Yep.
All right, I'll just treat this as a head-to-head league for the sake of most people playing that. I will go Harden over Booker, over Curry, over Trae, over Cat, over Sabonis. There's my list. I like Harden. I think he's underrated from being old. Roto, I would put Booker on top, by the way, for whatever that's worth.
That's
I'm not giving an explanation. I just tell them to listen.
Yeah.
I'm not explaining myself.
So here's my thing. What's the big knock on Cat this year? Everyone just assumes that he's going to play fewer minutes and that the counting stats are going to go down because Cat is like a 9-cat.
And Mitch Rob too.
Dream.
Yeah,
and Mitch Rob with the boards. Okay, that's fine. I don't know. I like his game. Nothing wrong with Booker and Harden. I think they're the picks for sure. Curry is really old, and I don't know. I worry a little bit about him. I would go more like Booker, Harden, Cat, Curry, Trae, Sabonis should definitely be last. I'm not a Trae Young guy. I don't know.
Same.
I don't start off with 4 turnovers a game, even if it means 11 assists. I just don't want to punt turnovers, and I won't do it. But honestly, Trae could be awesome this year, man. He has so many weapons around him. I want to see Trae Sabonis in the pick and roll, pick and pop. Jalen Johnson back. Like Hawks could be really fun, man. This could be a great year to draft Trae. I don't want to, poop all over Trae. I just can't stomach the turnovers and the 40% shooting. It's not me. But if you want to have a fun team, me and Dan draft boring teams. If you want to have a fun team, draft Trae Young.
My heart can't handle the excitement of a fun team.
I've honestly been like starting to talk myself out of Trae Young a little bit because the team is a little bit better. I'm growing. Maybe I need to take the young man part out of my.
No, was flexing his shirt there in the middle of that discussion for anybody that missed it. It's a Hawks shirt.
It's the fact that I think Jalen Johnson is going to have the ball in his hands a little bit more, and maybe Trae Young ends up being a little bit more efficient. And what does that look like for him? 3.7 turnovers and 44% from the field. Like, yeah, sure, but does he lose out on some of the other production because of that? So started to talk myself out of it a little bit. So I think I would go Booker or Harden here. I think the Mitch Robinson stuff, I don't think it's going to be Gobert level where Cat is his rebounds go down by like 4 per game because Mitch Robinson is not going to play as much as Rudy Gobert was.
Right.
And then there's still the scenario where Mitch Robinson gets hurt or just gets into foul trouble. That's been a thing, or just doesn't play as many minutes. And Karl-Anthony Towns at center is a good option. So then they may just go with that a good bit. So I'm not totally shying away from Cat, but just not quite as high on him. But yeah, Sabonis last. So I guess between Booker and Harden. And you know what? I would take Booker because I think it's more fun, and that's where we're getting the fun here. Now I earned the young part back in my podcast name.
Yeah, there's nothing fun about Harden. Let's be honest.
Yeah,
I don't know,
old guy.
The size of his beard is fun.
That is true. We got to respect that. We got a question here from Chad, friend of the show. Let's see.
Old man.
Would you trade Darius Garland for Josh Hart and Mitch Robinson in Dynasty, as he's punting points, assists, and field goal percentage?
I recuse myself from a Dynasty question.
Okay, I was going to ask if you guys want to answer the Dynasty question. Feel free.
It's tough. I mean, it makes sense for the build. It's just hard to trade away the best Dynasty asset for those guys that don't have a lot of Dynasty value, either one of the guys you're getting. So it's like, are you trying to win this year versus, have a point guard for the next 10 years? Because Garland's 25 years old? I don't know. It seems like a lot to pay for like a, temporary solution. And I'm not a big Dynasty guy either. Just putting it out there.
Yeah, I think if you're looking to trade Darius Garland and I'm in that league, I will happily give you more than Josh Hart and Mitch Robinson, and I will find a way to make this work for your build. Just telling you right now, Chad, don't make that trade. I'll help you out. I'll take Darius Garland off your hands if that's what you want to do. Who starts at center in Charlotte? I think this is the question that we all want to know. Didn't know if either of you guys have insider information here or any reason to believe one way or the other who's going to start in Charlotte. I don't know. Do you guys have an opinion?
Plumlee? Question mark? Like, I don't think they're trying to tank this year, so probably the veteran. I don't think I want anything to do with it.
Here's let's make it a fantasy relevant question. Are those two, Plumlee and Diabate, gonna eat enough minutes that Kalkbrenner is useless, or are we gonna be able to use Kalkbrenner at all this year? Because he's the guy we really care about, right? Let's be honest.
Yeah. I think it's they're all dead meat.
Right. Probably a wash, right? Like it's like a terrible timeshare unless.
Hey, you know what you should do instead of worrying about this? You should subscribe to the Young Man Squad fantasy basketball show and the Old Man Squad network. Do that instead. Don't worry about the Hornets center situation. Go draft a Hornet or go draft a different Hornet or a different center and take that time to subscribe instead. I'm an expert at shilling.
For what it's worth, Kalkbrenner has been playing more minutes. I think Diabate started 2 of the preseason games. Kalkbrenner started this last one. They play not tonight, maybe tomorrow night? Question mark.
No, it's going to be a mess.
It's tomorrow night. So we'll keep an eye on that to see who starts then. But I think if it is anyone other than Kalkbrenner, I'm not drafting Plumlee, even if he's starting and they're promising him 35 minutes a game, which is not going to happen. Diabate, I could be convinced to take as like a last round guy if he is starting. If Kalkbrenner is starting, then maybe last few rounds, maybe a tad earlier than that. But even then, I do think it's not going to be one of them dominating the minutes.
Yeah,
it seems fair.
All right. Good afternoon, guys. Is it too early to take Cooper Flagg with your second round pick? If you have pick number 1, I'm assuming to pair with Jokic or Victor Wembanyama. And little plug here, because I recorded an episode with Matt Lawson earlier with his 9-cat rankings, and he has Cooper Flagg ranked 24th. And that's by far the highest I've seen. But he was very
Dynasty guy.
Yeah. I mean,
he's bullish on all the young guys. Typically, just consider the source. I'm not saying I love Matt; he's a great dude, but like he's always going to be looking through that dynasty lens, that 9-cat. So just consider that,
Yeah. So
I would say, I
Go
would
ahead,
say
Dan.
no. The answer is no overwhelming no, not in the second round. What about you, Dan?
So here's the calculus. I'm not going to do it. There are other guys that I would want more, but he's not going to get back to you at 48. So that's, I think, what P-Dub is worried about here. You either do it and close your eyes, or you accept that you're not going to get Cooper Flag if you have a top 3 or 4 pick, because most likely I think his pre-rank on Yahoo is like 52. So there's a chance he might get back there in some leagues, but odds are if you want him, you'll probably be a team that gets Flag will probably be like a middle of the round type of team. Like you probably have pick 40 or 42 or something like that.
Yeah.
I would rather take someone like a Giddy, or I'm thinking about who else is floating around there. So it's probably a no for me. But again, like you have to get over the mental hurdle that you're not going to get him 24 picks later. So, sort that out in your head. If you want to do it, do it. Or how about this? Take him as the first pick in the 3rd round.
Make yourself feel a lot better there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pick 25. It's not your 2nd round pick. He's your 3rd round pick, P-Dub.
Maybe if it's a league with a 3rd round reversal, then you can get him at the end of the 3rd round there. That's a possibility. But I do think that it is probably too early to take him there. But if you're just super passionate about Cooper Flag and you just want him, then I say go for it. Draft the guys that you want to watch and want to root for. Have fun. Fantasy basketball is supposed to be fun.
Here's the fun guy again, right? Just take whoever you want.
Yeah.
Take the guys you. You're the guy. You're the guy.
Regular Kawhi Leonard over here.
I know is the guy that, like, makes the lineup with all the guys in the game that he's gonna go watch play. I just wanted to see these guys play, so I bet on them, made them in my lineup. Yeah. It's all good, man. I love Cooper Flag. We all do.
You got me figured out, Thunder Dan. That was I absolutely have done that for sure. I am going to this game, so let me make sure
going to this game.
Is in my lineup.
Yeah, how many times somebody's messaged me, hey man, give me a parlay for tonight's game. I'm going to the game tonight. And you're like, all right, but like, do you want to sit there and stew about just enjoy the games? Don't worry about it. You're actually at the game. Let us at home sit around and make parlays. You're just enjoy the game.
The tough part about that especially is that the closest NBA team to where I live is actually the Hornets. So it's like, oh no, I've got to get this. Who was it? It was one of their random guards last year that I was like, or 2 years ago, I don't remember.
Nick Smith, baby. I hope you were all over like it. Nick Smith over.
I was the only one cheering. They're down 30, and I'm just yelling. Not a fan of the team.
Backdoor. Yeah, right. One more three.
You're that guy that's like 3 rows from the back of the building yelling, Nick's open.
All right. Is D'Angelo Russell still rosterable in standard head-to-head 8 category leagues after not starting their last preseason game? Would you actually consider Davion Mitchell instead, or just literally leave the spot open for the next big free agent?
Wow.
I don't think I would do the last one, simply for the fact that I think you should just take one of the basketball players and have them on your team. But I think that D'Angelo Russell will start. I know he didn't start the last preseason game, but he didn't play at all. So I assume that he's going to start the regular season. And I think I would take him over Davion Mitchell. But how are you guys feeling?
I agree. I have nothing to add there.
Totally. Yep.
Yeah.
Nothing against Davion Mitchell. He's a nice late pick too, but I think D'Lo has more upside and has a longer shelf life too. Because Tyler Hero's can be back long before Kyrie Irving is.
Oh, way before, for sure.
Yeah.
With the Utah Jazz, they have several interesting pieces. Is there any Utah Jazz players that either of you are specifically just so passionate about? I know there's a lot of interesting ones, but anybody you guys like?
I'm worried I'm about to sneeze, so Thunder Dan, go ahead.
I don't really know if I do. I know my buddy Alex Burns, I know he's a friend of yours, is big on Filipowski, and I wouldn't mind having him and sitting on him, and just in case, they make a trade down the stretch, or they end up just, randomly resting Laurie and Kessler like they did last year. So I like him's game, but I don't know. I don't really like. I know there's Ace Bailey truthers out there. I'm not really one of those. I just kind of know they're kind of all just wait and see streamers. I don't know.
Screw the Utah Jazz. Screw them right into the ground. Where the Brooklyn Nets I have already screwed into the ground.
Oh,
These
yes.
teams with their nonsense, their shenanigans. I'm wearing my old school shirt, so I got an old school rant queued up for this. I hate it. So listen. All right, I'm going to try to dial it back a little bit. Utah's so bad this year that they might not be as bad, if that makes any sense. Where last year they had 3 or 4 viable basketball players and they had to force the bad. This year they'll just get to be bad. And so they might actually have slightly better fantasy pieces. That said, I'm not taking that plunge. When a team tells you right up front, we are going to try to stink this year, it's just easier to not worry about it. You might take the Walker Kessler plunge and you might get 64 games out of him this season. You might. It's not off the table. But odds are they're going to rest guys down the stretch. And Kessler, who's 3-4 seasons into the NBA, he's a veteran on that team now. Because Clarkson's gone and Sexton's gone and Collins is gone, and they got rid of anybody that had real basketball tenure under their belts. So I just I cannot put faith into these teams that have shown they're willing to tank early in a season, middle of a season, late in a season. They don't care what part of the year it is. They will shut guys down for 2 weeks at a time. No, I'm not doing it, and I'm comfortable being wrong because there's just too many things that can go wrong. I try to play the odds where I can. That's my main goal. I've said it a million times on my own show. I just want to try to simplify this game a little bit. And the easier pathway is to just take 1 or 2 teams off the board. There's still plenty of guys left. I'm not telling you to wipe out like half the NBA. It's like Kessler, Markkanen, and Michael Porter Jr. and Cam Thomas. Just assume those guys are tanked and draft any of the other 600 players in the NBA. It's okay. There's my rant. I'm done.
That's the show, guys. Thanks for coming out, guys. That's the show. We'll see you next time.
Do you guys mind if I just go ahead and hype up every single player on the Utah Jazz? I can go ahead.
Go for it.
No, not all of them, but I do like Isaiah Collier in the later rounds as a guy just for some late round assists. If you don't have any, I don't think that he's in danger of being a shutdown guy because he does need the developmental minutes. And the same thing goes for a guy like Taylor Hendricks, who missed all but 3 games last season and needs those developmental minutes and is a really, really good defensive player, their best defender. And if they made the comments that they're going to try and compete this year or not tank, and then they traded away every veteran player except for Lauri Markkanen. And it's like, okay, yeah, sure, you're not going to pull your players, but you're going to field a bad team, so it's not up to you anymore. But Taylor Hendricks is the best perimeter defender on that team. If they want to play competitive basketball games, then he's got to be out there. So I do like him as well. But in general, I'm not opposed to the sentiment of steering clear of bad basketball teams. Pick number 2, Jokic is off the board. Who do you prefer between Wemby, SGA, and Luka for the second pick? Because Wemby was a bit underwhelming last year with how head coach Mitch Johnson managed him. And then obviously he did miss time down the stretch. But who are you guys taking with the number 2 pick?
All right, so I'll push back on Wemby being underwhelming last year. I think he was pretty good.
Pretty good.
The blood clot was the bigger issue there. That said, Wemby is not my number 2. Shea is my number 2, but that's just because I like well-roundedness in my fantasy game. I think Wemby does he doesn't force you into a punt, but it does push you towards that more guardy build a little bit. So my board is Jokic, SGA, and then Wemby. Luka is my clear number 4. Thunder Dan?
At the risk of sounding repetitive and boring, I like SGA too, but I will say that I don't think there is any question that taking Wemby is way more exciting and fun because we really don't know what the ceiling is yet. And again, if you want to keep up with the Jokic team, it's like Wemby's the guy. I mean, it's going to give you an opportunity to do that. And I don't know, man. The blocks are just insane. You can lock down blocks with basically almost one player and do it. You don't need to go crazy adding blocks guys later. It's a really fun build. But again, I like SG. I like the boring stuff. But the ceiling there is almost. I might go Wemby. Just Just,
and you can do no wrong here. This is why everybody wants a
Right.
top 3 or 4 pick.
Right. That's
At the risk of being the fun guy again. I'm pretty locked in on Wemby as my number 2 guy behind
That's
Jokic.
fair.
I had SGA, Luka, but
Yeah.
I'm just got to maintain the bid at this point. I think even if I did prefer SGA, I'd tell you guys Wemby. But it really is Wemby.
Is there a wrong answer to this question?
There is.
No.
Next question.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess Luka would be the wrong answer.
We got a lot of questions, man. This is good.
There is definitely a lot. We may not be able to get to all of them, but we will get to as many as we can. Didn't get Mitch Robinson. Is a Dembona worth a pickup in standards for helps with rebounds and blocks, or instead is Cam Whitmore for his upside?
Ooh.
Only one extra roster spot, unless you also drop D'Angelo Russell. What are you guys thinking?
I'd go Whitmore. Go ahead, Dan.
The only question is like, it's a weird comp because you're like, I missed out on Mitch Rob. So like, did you want the blocks and the rebounds? Because if you wanted those, it's just weird because like Cam Whitmore's not going to give you that, but I do like Cam Whitmore's overall game better. I'm with you there, but it's like if you wanted to replace the rebounds and blocks that you missed out for Mitch Rob, then Bona makes more sense fit wise.
Yeah, well said. Yeah. I think the thing with Bona is, first of all, he's going to split minutes with Drummond, and then if Embiid ever shows up, he's obviously a non-factor. Where with Whitmore, there is still the chance that he's a factor from game 1 to game 82. So I'll take the guy that I think has a chance to be interesting the entire year, even if there's maybe a better chance that Bona's good for the window where he has an opportunity to be good. I take the shot, man. Go for the guy that might be awesome all year. Might be terrible too, but who cares? But Thunder Dan makes a good point. If it was just the big man stats you need, then take a big man. Don't drop D'Lo though. He's likely to be good for half the season, and these other guys might. Bona might give you 6 games, and Whitmore might give you 0. He could be bad. So yeah, go. Whitmore's my choice there.
Look at you guys and your young guys. You guys love these young players.
We're
the upside of Cam Whitmore. No, that is fair. I just don't think I have much interest in either of them. I could be like one of the lowest people in the fantasy space on Cam Whitmore. I know a lot of people really like him. They traded 2 seconds to get him. He can score the basketball. That's really about all that he does. And he's not starting at this point. I think that Keyshawn George being ahead of him, he's a really well-rounded player. I'm just not like, I guess if you take Chris Middleton out, then it's probably Cam Whitmore in that lineup, but it could be Trey Johnson. It could be like Corey Kispert. I'm just not confident that Cam Whitmore is just going to play a ton of minutes this year because he's on a bad team. I just think that there's a lot of other talented guys. And then if Embiid is playing, then Bona doesn't provide all that much. So I honestly may just look at different options on your waiver wire.
Are you choosing the option from our last question of just leaving the roster?
Leaving it blank.
It might be. I think this is the scenario that you just kind of say, let's see what happens. Maybe something different.
Noah, can I pick the next one?
Go for it.
I'm scrolling down to my old buddy Vince Miracle. Going Vincent. I want everybody to know, you guys probably don't know this, but the very first episode of my very first fantasy podcast was done, me and the Miracle Man, Vince Miracle. We hosted a show together in 2016. It was like at the very end of the 2015-2016 season. And we brought a soundboard onto the podcast that was my mouth, or his mouth too, where we made this noise. That was stamping. Any players that were somebody else's problem. Basically, someone that was so bad it didn't matter how far they fell, just let somebody else handle it. So shout out to Vince and the first fantasy basketball podcast I did. I was more interested in telling that story than Vince's question, but we can do that.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Who are we stamping? Somebody else's problem. Cam Thomas, MPJ, or Dennis Schroeder?
Is there an all the above choice?
You can you can use the stamp as often as you like. I got an ink pad that's super wet.
I don't think Dennis Schroeder may not fit this for me. I think the other two do, but I think Dennis Schroeder doesn't because he just goes so much later. And
he's also
there's been
like the Kings are not tanking.
No, and
Right.
there's multiple times I've been getting through drafts and I'm like, shoot, I need more assists. And hey, this Dennis Schroeder guy is still on the board and he's a starting point guard. Maybe he'll get me 5 per game? Question mark, maybe.
Ron Burgundy.
So I definitely Cam Thomas or MPJ. Somebody else can have it.
Cam Thomas
Honestly,
is my biggest stamp there. What about you, Thunder Dan?
Yeah, it's definitely Cam first, then MPJ. You make a good point about Schroeder. He's not going to really hurt you. He's going to get you some late round assists, and he's not like shooting 20 shots a game like earlier in his career. He's just going to be like low volume. So it's really just like a good late round assist ad. But the other two guys are the ones that could kill your field goal percentage and totally just tank at the end of the year. I don't expect either one of them to be playing much.
Yeah, MPJ in like a games capped league, you could make a case to put him on your roster after like pick 85 or 90. Cam Thomas, everything that he's saying right now suggests that this is a season where he's just going to do whatever the hell he wants and get a new contract next summer. He is the prototypical someone else's problem stamper for this year. By the way, I don't want Dennis Schroeder on my team, but he doesn't qualify as a someone else's problem guy. He's just like not a great fantasy stat set on a team that has a very weird personnel situation going on.
Yeah.
Anyway,
true.
sorry I commandeered this thing because I wanted to tell the someone else's problem stamp story. Noah, the show is technically yours. So
No, I think the story was the best thing we've talked about so far. So
we haven't called this
a
a Rubin sandwich, a Danwich. We have all these names for it. You are the corned beef in a Reuben sandwich right now.
Yeah.
And Thunder Dan is the sauerkraut, and I'm, I guess, the rye bread. I think I have to be the rye bread.
Dry.
Yeah. Dry rye.
Dry rye.
No mayo.
Oh, yeah, no. I mean, you could put some Thousand Island on that bad boy. Sorry,
Cool.
Go ahead.
We'll do that.
No
we'll do
cheese.
that.
Right,
one more thought on Schroeder is just to say, no, I'm not targeting him in the later rounds. I'm reluctantly drafting him after not getting enough assists early on and saying, I can't wait till the next round so I can draft somebody I actually like. But speaking of late round picks, who is the best late round flyer here? And this is an opportunity for someone to talk about another Utah Jazz player. Mitch Robinson, Neemias Queta, Bryce Sensabaugh, Ryan Kalkbrenner, or Nikola Jovic. Any of these guys you guys are passionate about as being a late round flyer?
Give me Jovic.
He's going Jovic. Cool. I like that call. I'll go Queta.
In the preseason, they've been playing him at the 4 and bring in alongside Bam, right? Bring in Ware off the bench. And I really like that for the Heat. I like the way they're doing that. And I think if he's going to be starting at the 4 and playing anywhere close to 30 minutes, like he has an awesome skill set. I've been a Jovic guy for a while. I think he had a near triple-double in one of those games. Like he can pass, he can shoot. He's still young. I love his skill set. And again, if it's all about minutes and opportunity, if he's going to get that opportunity, maybe a few extra shots with Hero out. I'm definitely taking this. I moved him on my board a couple times already this preseason.
He's my number 2. Neemias Queta is my number 1. I know we have 1,000 questions, so I'm going to try not to go long on any of these guys. But I think Queta is going to be solid enough to be like a third center on most rosters, and then Jovic is more the upside play that Thunder Dan was talking about because he is well rounded, and with Hero out, there's an even bigger runway there. So I like that call, and Queta's my other one.
Yeah, Jovic has been one of my favorite sleepers or late round guys in both redraft and as a dynasty sleeper as well. Potential breakout candidate for this year. So I definitely like him as well. Let's see if we can get a few quick hitters here. Would you drop either Andrew Nembhard or Benedict Mathurin right now for Derek Lively? I'm assuming that this is a shallower league if Derek Lively is on the waiver wire and you can afford to drop either Nembhard or Benedict Mathurin. But I guess we'll just rank these 3 players or say, would Lively be last or not last among these 3 players?
Yeah. Nembhard first. Mathurin and Lively is kind of a wash for me. Super different fantasy games.
Right.
I think Mathurin might actually be last for me because I don't like scoring. Not that I don't like it. I just don't care about it.
I hate it.
It's kind of hollow. It's hollow scoring.
The young man's game.
Too fun. Putting the ball in the hoop, that's not fun. Getting the ball when it bounces off the hoop, that's fun. Sorry, I'm done.
No, I think it's a good point. I mean, here's my issue with Lively is like, how long is he really gonna? I mean, Gafford's out for a bit, right? But I mean,
Mm-hmm.
they can move AD to center and play PJ Washington at the 4. They can do a lot of things in Dallas. I don't love Lively's game. He's okay. He's just a shot blocker and rebounder. He doesn't really have a whole lot of offense. Matherin's going to have a real opportunity, right, this year to really score a bunch in Indiana. I know he doesn't do a lot other than score and rebound, but if he can do it efficiently, right, if he can give you 15, 16 points at like good field goal percentage, I think he might have more of a full season appeal. While Lively's just that whole center situation in Dallas is so messy.
Yeah, it is. And I think that's kind of what it comes down to, is definitely keeping Nembhard. Matherin does feel a little bit safer for the reasons you mentioned about Lively's situation. Like, Matherin is the starter. That has been said by Rick Carlisle. It's like, he is going to start. He is going to score. He's going to shoot the ball, get some rebounds. Like, that's going to be there. It may come down to team build a little bit there as well. Here's another one. Would you rather have Mark Williams or Onyeka Okongwu plus Tumani Kamara, considering only Kevin Durant is the most risky player on this team, which I guess leans into the risk of Mark Williams? Either of you guys feel passionate about this one?
Man, normally I just immediately say take the guy with the highest per game upside, but I think I might actually take the 2 guys in this one.
Me too. Yep.
I like Kamara a lot, and
same.
I think
Okongwu.
I think he could be a top 75 guy even with Porzingis around, and I think Kamara could be a top 75 guy also. And they're upright, and we don't know if Mark Williams will be. Now, admittedly, Mark Williams could be a top 40 center, so I may regret this call. If he plays 65 games, then what I just said is very wrong. But I think I'll take the 2. I think I'll take the 2 in this one and just play a little safe. I'm trying to play a little safer this year.
I don't have anything to add. Same stuff. Same answer for me. I'm not a Mark Williams guy. I know he has upside, but I don't think it's worth the risk. And I mean, they drafted a center, right? In Phoenix too. So it's like
Common Malawatch, yeah.
Right. Are they really
Don't just
banking on him?
Names, Noah.
You old people. You old men.
I can't stop myself. I'm fine that you'll never have me as a guest again. I want to get my money's worth on this one.
One and done.
One and done.
Oh, man. I also would go with the 2 here. I think normally when you see deals like this, it's like 1 really good player and 2 kind of good players. But I feel like this is like 3 players in a similar tier. Like, maybe if you were ranking them, you would maybe put Mark Williams first. I don't even know that I would. So I would take the 2 here. Because Mark Williams may be healthy for most of the year, but only playing 26 to 28 minutes per game. And I think Onyeka Okongwu would get a similar workload. And Kamara's pretty much locked in as a starter. I think that if he's not, then Chauncey Billups is making the wrong choice. That's probably a nice, fair way to put it.
We know they're trying to win, so that's a good thing for Portland's. I like Portland. I like a lot of stuff going on in Portland, but that's not the question here.
Yeah. This is more of a general philosophical fantasy basketball question. What do you think is more important, team construction or getting all the best players? Ooh. And I'm assuming that this is a category league question. Yes, you with your hand up in the back.
Yes, I have a lovely rant on this one. Best players, because if you get the best players each round, your team will almost invariably have a pretty good construction. And if it doesn't, guess what you can do? You can trade one of those really good players for an equally valued, also good player that maybe fits your team a little bit better. Get great values all through your draft. I promise you will be in the top 4 of your league if you do that, and then probably better. And then just tweak it along the way. Make trades. Don't try to fleece somebody. Just come at someone with a stat that you have too much of and ask for a stat you need coming back. It's very simple if you're just trying to make fair 1-for-1s. They happen all the time in my league. Everybody's like, no one ever wants to trade in my league. It's because you're offering them 2 garbage players for their 3rd round pick. Just give them a 5th rounder for a 5th rounder. Make it simple. You can balance your team in December. That's my rant on that one.
That sounds good to me, Dan. I'll be honest. You can't really go wrong taking the best players available. And obviously, you want to be like aware of your build and everything. But you like we talked about this on Dan's show the other day. Like you can always adjust and add via the wire and make trades as the year goes. It's a long season, so like sometimes people think are too hyper focused on their build during the draft, and it forces them to look past other good players because like, well, isn't a perfect fit. Well, you'll figure it out. Like if they're the better player and the better investment, then you should take them.
Yeah, is it cheating to say both? I mean, I do agree that like, yeah, get the best value, get the best player each round. I think I probably look a little bit more into team construction in the first few rounds and say, okay, like for example, I get Giannis in a league. Okay, I'll probably draft the best player available that kind of fits there, but it's not like, okay, round 10, let me see who's going in this range that it would be good with a free throw punt or like isn't hitting any threes. If I'm like, oh no, that's the best player here, and yeah, they hit some threes or they're not terrible free throw shooters, like yeah, best player there. I think it's kind of both, but I would say leaning towards
I love
best
it.
value.
That's perfectly said. Because if you get one of those late guys that hits, even if they don't fit
Yeah.
your build, you flip them. Get a guy at pick hunt 105 who's number 65. You can flip him for a number 75 guy partway through the year who fits your team perfectly. And bingo bango, you got an extra 6th, 7th round pick because you made the right call in the 10th round. I love that description. That's perfect.
All right, let's do this one here. Does Orlando have a top 30 player on their roster, or do they just now have a starting 5 of top 80-ish guys? And I'm assuming with the 5 here being Jalen Suggs when healthy, Desmond Bane, Franz Wagner, Paolo Banchero, and Wendell Carter Jr.
Wow.
I don't know about Wendell.
Yeah, Wendell is not in the top 80, but we're going to do that to Bane and to Wagner. We're going to put them down in the top 80.
This
I
is
think
a great
it's like
question for Thunder Dan, because Thunder
it's
Dan
trying to accumulate everyone within the top. I don't think everyone's in the like 75 to 80 range. Like here's our 5. I think it's just saying
we have the resident Baneophile on the show over that way.
I'm a Baner.
He's got a big Baner.
Bane is my bait. No, I mean he's probably I have him just around 30, maybe just outside, and Wagner too, just outside the top 30. I'm not obviously we know Paolo for 9-cat is like shouldn't be anywhere near the top 30, right? More like 50-ish. But I mean, we haven't really seen these guys play a lot together. I think they're going to be really good, and I think there's a chance that they all make each other a little bit better too. Like we were running way too much offense through Palyo and Wagner in the past. Now they have another guard they can run through. If Jalen Suggs is healthy, he can help facilitate a little bit. Like they are going to be more balanced. I think that's a good thing for all of their games. Honestly, it may help them be a little more efficient and hopefully stay healthy. Like obviously they went through all those injuries, but Orlando's a really fun team. I'm drafting Bane. I'm probably drafting Franz sometimes. I'm not drafting Palyo. I have an aversion to him, but I know points league folks love Palyo and they should, but yeah, I don't know. That's a weird question.
Yeah,
reasonable.
I think that Bane and Franz are definitely around that top 30 range. And then Palyo, it entirely depends on your team build because you can have him be a top 30 player in a certain punt, but then obviously the limitations are why his overall 9-cat value is low. Yes, Wendell Carter or any center in Orlando doesn't really get to that top 80 range, but I think Suggs is within there. So I'll say they've 4 of their starting 5 are within the top 80. I think I'd say that.
That's fair. If any of them can get higher, it's probably Franz, but
yeah,
I don't know if any of them will.
All right, I'm gonna do because this is a Roto question.
I'm trying to be brief.
Yeah, it's a Roto question, so I'm gonna make sure to get this one just for you. Is Ricochet a guy? Okay.
Wait, this is both. It says Roto head to head.
I saw Roto. I didn't see head to head. I kind of stopped reading after I saw Roto. In my defense, on the line, it says
12-team Roto head to head. I'll answer the Roto side. Nope.
I'll take the head to head side.
Yeah, someone else take the head to head side.
Nope. I think if it was a like deeper roster situation, then sure. And I do think he's going to have a good second season. Just don't think he does enough in multiple categories. I think it's gonna be a lot of points and threes.
Yeah, I think that's fair. I mean, deeper formats, I don't mind them. I just think there's a lot of mouths to feed in Atlanta, and Jalen Johnson being back, and we have with Porzingis and Okongwu, and even with who's their sixth man coming off the bench, just came over from Minnesota. I'm losing my mind.
Nikhil Alexander-Walker.
No.
Yes, no. Oh my God,
There we
there's
go.
just so many other guys getting up shots. So yeah, no, it's a yes and no.
Yeah, no.
All right, quick hitter. Would you trade Jared Allen for Joel Embiid?
You have to ask it the way it's typed, Noah.
Would you trade Jarrett for Embiid? Is that good?
No.
Perfect. No.
Jared,
Although Embiid was a partial participant in practice today, so
what does that even mean? Did it mean he went out and with street clothes and put one shot up in his jeans or what? Like, what does that even mean?
I think he was shagging balls.
He participated in the team's stretching. That's what he did.
Yeah,
got some shots up.
No,
Jared Allen is my safety blanket. Everybody knows in the 5th round I take Jared Allen because he's uber efficient and predictable and
he is
can't
snuggly.
miss.
He's the youngest old man.
He's
your youngest old man ever. Yeah,
he's your 5th, 6th round weighted blanket of fantasy basketball.
And I can watch the Cavs on League Pass every night, and every time he gets a nice little alley oop, it's like,
your little weighted blanket.
Give me that 70% field goal range.
Yeah, this is a nice, just kind of general question. What category is the highest premium in the early rounds? I guess which one is the most? I mean, highest premium.
Hasn't it been assists? Hasn't it been assists for like the last 5 or 6 years?
Yeah.
And now no Tyrese Halliburton, no Damian Lillard, no DeJounte Murray, no Jason Tatum. So
but the alternative is, and a few of you guys, you and other awesome analysts have come on my show and brought this up as well. Maybe don't worry about it. If all 12 teams are gunning this hard for assists, perhaps this is the year to flip the script and punt them. Flip the board. Nothing will flip the board more than a punt points or a punt assists look this year. Just throwing it out there. It's not simple if you haven't done it before, but this might be the year for it.
If you're playing in the league with Adam King, it's just tough to make that happen because he's already going to do it. But
he's going to do it. My counter, to your counter is if everyone's punting assists, I'm going to still try to win assists.
Yeah, but everyone's definitely not. I promise.
No, they won't. I'm just not.
Everyone's trying to get them, so you punt them. But then everyone else thinks to punt them, so then you go get them. But then everyone, because of them, thinks to go get them, so you punt them. But
yes.
Yeah, it's now the 6th round of your draft, and you've auto picked 5 times.
I'm telling you guys, I'm working on this article. I'm going to drop it later this week. I'm going to attempt to win assists without a single assist guy over 6.
I like that.
It's basically for kind of a blueprint to go round by round, and guys you could take at various positions and compete in assists. Now, Dan and I talked about this. Maybe not. You're not going to beat like the team that has Trae Young and another point guard, but you're going to beat all the punt assist teams. You're going to beat all the teams that are kind of only okay in assists by stacking up 5 and 6 assist guys. It's an angle. I'm just trying it out. You guys will have to check it out here. Yeah.
Yeah. No, that'll be an exciting one. Quick hitter here. Don't know what the 10th category is, but Casey Wallace or Brandon Pajemski in a head-to-head league. And if you want to give your guess as to what the 10th category is, be my guest.
Double doubles. I get that one a lot.
Hard nosery. Can you
cool hair?
Yeah. I'm going to treat it as a 9-cat question, and I'll go Pajemski here just for the ability to get more categories. It's possible that Wallace might be the higher ranked guy, but it might just be because he has lower turnovers. So I'll go Pods. There's more room to help a fantasy team as opposed to Wallace, who we know is really going to be a one category guy.
Same here. I like Pods a lot.
Yeah, Pods is one of my favorite players to draft, and I've gotten him in pretty much every draft I've been in. So
I'm also high on him.
Okay, well,
and he's young. I did it, Noah.
He plays old though. It's like he is young, but he plays old. So it
I know,
doesn't
that's how they
surprise me.
That's
get
why
at
we
all.
like him.
That's how they get me.
Yeah.
That's why I had Chet Holmgren on my board in his rookie season. I was like, this man's going to be old quick. He had one great year and then he blew out a hip. I knew it.
After missing his whole first season. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's an old guy. This one says, Thunder Dan.
Man.
I want your
Whoa.
top 5 overall. That's all. That's just what the
geez.
question says. So if we'll get
All right,
all of our
here you
top
go.
5s.
Ready? Jokic, and I'm gonna swerve. I'm going with the young man, Wemby, SGA, Luka, and I'm telling you guys, Anthony Davis is gonna stay healthy. He's gonna play at least 65 games, and he's gonna return top 5 value. Anthony Davis, 5.
I hope you're right. I really hope you're right. I love AD. I feel like I've actually answered this question in the other questions we had today. So
Probably.
I was Jokic, Shea, Wemby, Luka, and then for head to head, I said Giannis, and for Roto, I said Anthony Edwards.
Right.
Yeah, I'm Jokic, Wemby, SGA, Luka, Giannis. If I decided to play in a Roto league, I'd probably consider
Okay.
Anthony Edwards or Cade Cunningham. But yeah,
We'll get you.
we
We're running out
are
of time, aren't we?
Yeah, we are at time, so we're going to stop at the questions. If you missed out and didn't get your question answered, do not fret. Tomorrow at noon Eastern time, we will be back with a different Dan, with Dan Titus joining us, as well as Alex Baruzza from Roto Wire. So we will complete the Dan trifecta over the course of 2 days instead of trying to get 3 Dans at once and creating a real, like, what'd you call that? Like a triple stack Rubin Danwich or something? We'll do that.
We've done it before.
That's like when you get a burger with pastrami on it. It's too much, man. It's indigestion.
Here we go. Thank you guys both for being here. Thunder Dan, before I let you go, what do you guys got coming up for you, and where's your content? Where can we find it?
Yeah, check me out at Thunder Dan DFS on X. Like I said, there's a few more pieces of content I'm dripping out the rest of this week at Rotoballer, and check out my rankings over there. Everything over there is free. So take a look and hit me up if you guys have questions, like some of these questions that you're asking in the live vid. Just shoot me a DM. I'm happy to answer those kinds of questions. So thanks a lot, Noah. It was a lot of fun.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Thunder Dan and Lightning Dan.
I don't know what this means. I should probably understand
as well.
I don't know if this is a hype or a donation or something, but whatever it is, should I take Cooper? I'll use my promo time to answer your question, Baha. Should I take Cooper Flag at 39 in a 9-cat head-to-head? I'm fine with that. I'm actually okay with it. I know he's young, but I'm fine with Flag at 39.
Yeah.
Everybody knows what I'm going to tell everyone to do. Find all 3 of us on social media. Subscribe to this YouTube network. Follow Noah on Twitter, because many of you are watching this through his Twitter account. Follow Noah's pod, which is available both video and audio versions, the Young Man Squad Fantasy Basketball Podcast. And stay tuned for Thunder Dan dropping These Guys Suck. What were we going to say? I forget what. I'll cut
drop
you. I forget.
Thumbs.
Yeah, drop them. Drop them.
Drop
The Thunder Dan show coming up on the Old Man Squad Fantasy Basketball Network. So lots of stuff to do. But yeah, no, this was a blast, man. I'm so glad that you made the time work for all the Dans, and I hope you enjoyed being squeezed between us.
It was fun, an hour as a Rubin Danwich, as the centerpiece to the Rubin Danwich. But yeah, thank you guys so much for joining me. Thank you everyone for listening in. Like I said, another one of these tomorrow. And we've got like 3 or 4 other videos coming out of the Old Man Squad YouTube channel today. So check them all out. Will be, I was going to say, if you need more fantasy basketball content, it will be there at some
more.
point. Yes.
More.
But that will do it for this episode, and we will see you guys next time.